Hi everyone, my name is Scott, and these are my thoughts. Before I get into today's episode, a brief disclaimer. This podcast is for educational, inspirational, and reflective purposes only. It is not legal, medical, financial, or personal advice, and nothing here is meant to direct your specific actions. Please use your own judgment and consult a qualified professional where and when appropriate. There is a difference between wanting something and wanting it badly enough to reorganize your life around it. Most people never make that distinction. You talk to them and they say they want success, more money, love, purpose, or to travel the world. But often what they're saying is, I would like those things, but only if they come without any discomfort, inconvenience, sacrifice, or delay. That's not desire. That's preference with a side of idealism. There is no such thing as something for nothing. If you really want something, you must have a burning desire for its achievement, often at the cost of many other things. The bigger your vision, the greater the sacrifice. There's a popular parable, which I'm going to paraphrase for you, that is often attributed to Socrates and later retold by writers and speakers like Shiv Khera and Eric Thomas that makes this point. I'm going to tell you that story now. A young man once asked Socrates for the secret to success. Socrates responded by telling him to meet him down by the river the next morning. The two met, and Socrates asked the young man to walk with him into the river. When the water got up to their necks, Socrates took the young man's head and pushed it underwater. The boy struggled to get out, but Socrates held him down. When the boy was almost about to pass out, Socrates raised his head out of the water. The first thing the boy did was take a deep breath of air. Socrates then asked, "What did you want the most when you were underwater?" The boy replied, "Air." Socrates said, "That is the secret to success. When you want success as badly as you wanted air underwater, you will have it. There is no other secret to success other than a burning desire." Napoleon Hill, in his book Think and Grow Rich, also cites a burning desire as one of the key variables to success in achieving what you want in life. Now, to be clear, I don't interpret that parable to mean you should become manic, obsessive, or unhinged. This is not an argument for burning yourself alive in the name of ambition. It is an argument for clarity and honesty with yourself. A lot of people say they want things they don't actually want enough to suffer for. Every meaningful thing in life asks for something in return. Call it a sacrifice if you want. Every desire will request from you your time, effort, patience, persistence, and discomfort. If your desire is weaker than your attachment to comfort, the comfort usually wins. That's why so many lives get stuck in the realm of vague intention. People are interested and curious, maybe even inspired if it's the right day, it's nice outside, and they're perfectly caffeinated. But simply being interested in something doesn't get you very far. Interest starts on Monday and disappears by Thursday. Interest likes the idea of growth, but resents the process. Interest wants the reward, but negotiates with the hard and unglamorous work. Desire is different. Real desire has direction and intention. It survives bad weather, bad moods, slow days, and boredom. It persists after the first few failures or setbacks without collapsing into self-pity and despair. I know this may hit home for many of you. You may have something inside of you that you care deeply about. A life you've always wanted, a creative pursuit, a healthier body or mind, and a calmer heart. But perhaps you keep discovering the same hard truth. You keep running into that same brick wall. Part of you wants the result. Another part still worships what keeps you stagnant. What feels easy, familiar, or comfortable has a very strong pull and manifests in the form of distraction, procrastination, or altogether avoidance. I spent many years in the I'll start next week or I'll start when I'm ready mentality. That inner split is where a lot of suffering comes from. It's painful to live between the life you say you want and the habits that prove what you are still loyal to. I've learned this the hard way through personal experience, that hard decisions are the path to an easier life, and that if you really want something, you have to go after it with all your heart. I wrote a newsletter a couple months ago about being rejected from graduate school. When I made my mind up that I was going to get in no matter what, everything shifted for me. I wasn't thinking about dating, partying, traveling, or when the next episode of Survivor was on. I focused my mind completely on my goal and did everything in my power to make it happen. After I got in, one of my professors approached me at the end of class and told me if I had not persisted the way I had, they wouldn't have accepted me. I was the last person accepted into the program, but certainly not the least. Agency begins when your desire becomes definite, not with fantasy, hype, or a vision board trying to do the heavy lifting for a life that you still refuse to structure properly. You have to stop saying, oh, that would be nice, and start saying, no, this matters. I'm done drifting here. Clear desire does something very powerful. It simplifies, it filters, and it organizes. Once something matters enough, a lot of lesser temptations lose their authority over you. That is one reason burning desire gets misunderstood. People hear the phrase and they instantly imagine intensity. But intensity is not the whole story. Plenty of people can feel intense for a few days or weeks. Then they slowly fade and eventually disappear. Real desire is different than that. It's steady, consistently in motion, and is a refusal to keep betraying yourself in the name of familiar patterns. That kind of desire turns into discipline, and discipline is desire that has learned how to behave. This is the point where many people go wrong. They wait to feel more motivated, certain, or ready. But readiness is often a myth we use to delay confrontation with difficulty. Commitment is choosing in advance what you are no longer willing to negotiate with. You have to make some tough decisions and ask yourself some difficult questions. What matters enough that boredom will not stop you? What matters enough that the potential for embarrassment will not stop you? And what matters enough that a few failures will not send you back into distraction? Those questions reveal the truth you may be avoiding. That truth can sting. Sometimes what we think we desire was actually given to us by someone else. We are so distracted by the complexity of life that we never had a chance to sit with our own thoughts. We are bombarded all day, task shifting from one obligation to the next. We are sleepwalking through this one short, beautiful life that we have. You got to ask yourself, what do you want? What do you truly want? Geez, I sound like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook right now. Anyway, once you stop lying to yourself, you can finally begin. You can get specific. You can build systems. You can remove some of the friction from your life. You can practice consistency and finally start to align your days with what you claim matters. That is how desire becomes real. It's not about wishful thinking. It's living in a way that proves it's true. So maybe the lesson of that parable wasn't merely to want it more. Maybe the deeper lesson is this: want it clearly enough that your excuses start sounding ridiculous, even to you. Want it honestly enough that you stop romanticizing outcomes while resisting the process. Want it enough that you accept what it will cost and you move anyway. You do not lack talent. You may lack a clear direction or path worth pursuing more than anything else. Many of our desires are weak, scattered, borrowed, or constantly overruled by comfort. One thing that I've learned for sure is that life becomes clearer when you stop pretending that all desires are equal, or that all desires require the same amount of time or your attention to. Some desires are real enough to ask something serious of you. Those are the desires worth respecting. The ones that you call into discipline, courage, and alignment. Reclaiming your life is not about shouting affirmations into the void and hoping that reality responds. The real secret is wanting what's right for you deeply enough to finally become equal to it. A final reflection question for you all. What do you say that you want right now? And if you're being brutally honest with yourself, do your habits actually agree with? If this episode resonated with you, leave a comment, repost, and share it with other people who you feel would enjoy it. With love, Scott.